A very warm welcome to all of you to the first ever session by Study Queensland on the employability opportunities for international students. I am Ramya Mohanakrishnan, working as the Principal Development, Business Development Manager for Study Queensland initiatives in India, based out of Bangalore. In this session, we would be providing the current market scenario in Queensland, the focus sectors of the Queensland government, followed by the specific initiatives of Study Queensland and the various universities based out of Queensland. May I extend a warm welcome to all the esteemed list of panelists who have joined us today. Also, I can see a huge number of participants joining right now with us. A very warm welcome to all of you. Before not making you wait more, may I now request our Trade and Investment Commissioner, Mr. Geetesh Agarwal, to take up and present the market scenario of Queensland, the job opportunities and the focus sectors. Over to you, Geetesh.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday to all my fellow panelists who have taken our time today in Queensland and all the attendees. Thank you so much for taking your time to know more about Queensland and what is next. Well, I woke up in the morning with a message from one of the friends in one of the universities that there are new changes to the visa rules for students. And I'm sure as the day passes by, a lot of you will look it up and find out so much more positive news emerging out on that, queries that we've been receiving from students. I represent Queensland in India, based out of Bangalore, along with my team. My name is Geetesh Agarwal. As the commissioner, our role is to create partnerships between Queensland and India. India has been the third largest trading partner for Queensland and the second largest market as regards student mobility is concerned. Many students have called Queensland their home, and many would be calling it their home. I also bring a common connect that 25 years ago, I was a student to Australia. Many generations ago, I would say, I call myself the ancient one. Whenever we go there as students, and now I'm a parent myself of a 12th grader and a 10th grader, the future always is something that we hope for to be the best for our children. And in that future, the big query lies, once I've got one of the best educations in the world, in a fabulous destination called Queensland, Australia, what is next? I must also mention Study Queensland, our arm, which focuses on international education and training, is proud to tell you that Queensland is home to students from 160 countries, over 11 destinations, from reefs to the forests, from oceans to the cities. Queensland allows you to maximize your experience in the Sunshine State, amongst the best in the research, with 7 of our universities being in the top 150, University of Queensland being in the top 50, and QUT just being voted as one of the best in Australia, the #1 young university in Australia. When it comes to jobs, vocation, entrepreneurship opportunities, I can tell you that Queensland, with its $349 billion GSP, has been consistently growing. I'm sharing this before COVID dates, but even now we are in a recovery mode. We were growing at about 3+%, about a percentage more than the national average. We have had a mix of the modern and the traditional industries, from being a global powerhouse of energy, mining, agribusiness, food and beverage, medical research, health, biotechnology, innovation, and water management, education, training, to the new businesses and emerging opportunities in drone technology, AI, bringing manufacturing back to Australia, the tourism sector, which is going to be given a big push, the biofutures industry. So there is so much to look forward to, and the electric vehicles industry. The developments are immense. Queensland government is putting almost $40 billion out there to develop and bring the state back to recovery in the days going ahead. Over the last 2 weeks, there have been a slew of announcements made to give a lot of confidence to people in Queensland and wanting to go to Queensland. The current scenario is we are in the stage 3 of government easing restrictions. Yes, the restrictions in Queensland are much more easier than we are than they are in India right now. There's 70% back to normalcy with social distancing measures. Most of the sectors and commercial establishments have opened for business, except a few. Of course, there are regulatory requirements in terms of numbers that can be present and social distancing measures again. The international flights are yet to commence operations, and that will be decided by the federal governments and the border control and the border confidence. The focus of the government is very clear. They want to create jobs. They want to increase private sector investment, and they want to engage more youngsters in education, training, and work. I must very proudly tell you that just a few days ago, Study Queensland did the launch of Launch You, a globally recognized pioneering talent innovation initiative under which students will be engaged by the commercial establishments in Queensland, leading to micro-credentials supported by the Queensland government. The announcement that have been made over the last few weeks are across the sectors. There is a $5 billion Commonwealth Games legacy to support almost 26,000 jobs. The world-recognized Gold Coast Health and Knowledge Precinct, which will create about 150 jobs in construction and about 900 when operational, is already en route. There is the fastest undersea cable being brought into Sunshine Coast, making Queensland a digital hub with stronger digital connections to Asia from the east coast of Australia and to the US. And this is inviting world-class companies to look at Queensland for data, for tech-related industries. The largest airport in Australia is Brisbane Airport. I'm not sure many of you knew that. And their second runway, which has just been commenced at $1.1 billion, it will deliver almost 25,000 jobs by 2040. It makes Brisbane Airport an airport with probably the highest number of flights that can take off from an airport. The government is also committed to almost $3 million to the Australia's first super yacht berth on Gold Coast, which will again create jobs. Queensland is also leading the Australian efforts to renewable energy with wind, solar, and hydrogen energy. The Rhodes Bay Solar Farm, which is about a $350 million farm, is going to become Australia's largest renewable energy project, creating more than 300 jobs in the future. There is also a $3.6 billion Queen's Wharf's Brisbane project, which will create almost 2,000 jobs and about 10,000 when operational. So if you look at it, the government is trying its best to give students and parents at home, no matter which industry you choose to form your expertise in Queensland, there will be economic ecosystem to inspire to either become an entrepreneur or join as an employee or create opportunities for other employees by becoming an employer. The focus sectors I must just mention, which are being brought in across Queensland, across the regional areas, are in construction, in engineering, in manufacturing. Queensland is bringing manufacturing back to Australia with healthcare and social assistance, of course, education. In biotechnology, as some of you may know, Queensland is leading the world with vaccine development, which has already begun clinical trials last Monday. In renewables, as I mentioned, solar, hydrogen, and wind. Tourism, which has been a big mainstay of Queensland, is right now within intrastate, and of course, select states within Australia, which are bringing tourism back. And as we find, and the world finds a solution to COVID, I'm sure tourism will come back with much more fervor, given its variety of rainforests and oceans and reefs. There's, of course, agri-related focus sector. In IT, Queensland is leading the Australian charge in cybersecurity, data centers, IoT, 3D and AR and VR and AI. Of course, defense, we have a large presence of defense, almost 1/3 of Australia's defense, and MRO capabilities in maintenance of aircraft and defense-related air surveillance projects. There's retail trade, and of course, Queensland has always been a mining hub of the world, leading the world in most of the critical minerals, and of course, coking coal, and various other natural minerals. The advantage which I must share with any parent or student or agent partners is the variety that Queensland offers across destinations. So there's Brisbane, but there's Bundaberg, there's Burdekin Shires, there's Cairns, Cookshire, there's Central High, Land Regions, there's Fraser Coast, there's Gladstone, there's Gold Coast, there's Redlands Coast, there's Rockhampton, there's Scenic Ring, there's Townsville, there's Toowoomba. Of course, I could go on and on. There's so much out there in Queensland. And all I can say is the government, Study Queensland, we are all focused to ensure that students who call Queensland home become its talent ambassadors, become its true ambassadors. They can study here, go anywhere, or they can study here and call it home. And while you're studying, the new effort through Launch You, which will connect you to Queensland businesses to carry out research and other projects, winning your micro credentials, will be so much more of value when you finally complete your studies. So looking forward, and as Study Queensland always say, start here, go anywhere, and rule the world. Thank you, Ramya. Have a wonderful session today.
Thank you, Geetesh, for that very quick overview. Now, may I request Megan Short, who's our project manager, Study Queensland, to please speak about the initiatives, employability initiatives of Study Queensland. Over to you, Megan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ramya. Hopefully you can all hear me. If you can't, I'm sure the tech team will tell me so. Give me 2 seconds while I share my screen, because I do have some slides for you all. Hopefully you can all see that. So first of all, hello everyone. It's so great to see you on this webinar today. My name is Megan Short. You can call me Shorty if you would like. And I am a Senior Project Officer at Study Queensland. And as part of my role here in Queensland Government, I lead our talent and employability flagship projects. And today I'll be speaking about one of the top initiatives that we have, which is called Launch You, which Geetesh mentioned earlier. So Launch You is Queensland's leading talent program, and the key objective of it is to bring together students, employers and education providers through different experiences and programs that help to support, enable and showcase global talent who are here in Queensland. Before I go further into this, I wanted to quickly cover what do we mean when we say talent and employability. What I was talking about is talent, and talent is human capital. So when I talk about talent, it's about the talent that is needed for companies to achieve their goals and develop and remain innovative. So super important for companies. When I talk about employability, it's not about employment. It's actually about the broader term for a combination of specific knowledge, transferable skills, experiences and attitudes that you need to be more employable in securing a job. So why do we care about talent and employability here at Study Queensland and the Queensland Government? There is a really high demand for quality talent globally, both from an individual and a business perspective. So CEOs and businesses are calling out for talented young people. Geetesh mentioned many projects that are happening here in Queensland where there will be a big demand for this talent to basically help contribute to their business's success. Finding quality talent who are qualified is one of the biggest challenges that recruitment agencies and recruiters for businesses identified. And in 2019, 74% of CEOs around the globe said that they're seeking out the best talent, regardless of their geography or their demographics. This places human capital as the highest priority for businesses, coming second to only innovation. So that's why here at Study Queensland, we want to make sure all students who study here with us are given the best opportunities possible to be demonstrated and showcased as global talent. So what is Launch You exactly? So Launch You is an overarching program that we have here at Study Queensland that gives students here access to a wide variety of online and face-to-face professional experiences designed to develop your professional capabilities. So a lot of our speakers and panelists today will talk to some of these, but what we try to do here at Study Queensland is offer a statewide online platform where you can actually record all of your different experiences and the programs that you take part in to be able to articulate the skills that employers are looking for, which you will develop over your education journey in Queensland. So this program sits alongside your educational journey, and all students in our state are able to access this and make sure that they can really articulate and really share their personal story about why a business should consider them as being part of their talent pool. So when students complete The program, as Gatesh mentioned, there is a Queensland government-backed micro-credential that you will receive, and you also get a personalised online e-portfolio. So this means it's a personal URL that you get to share with future employers, whether it be here in Queensland, back home, or anywhere in the globe, where you'll be able to be recognised as a global talent that you are. I'll stop there. There's a lot of amazing speakers, and a lot of our panelists will talk about all the other opportunities here in Queensland. But thank you.
Thanks, Megan, for that very quick overview of what LaunchU is all about. Now, let me request Sharon Bignell, who is the Associate Director International of Bond University, to speak on their employability initiatives. Over to you, Sharon.
Good morning. My name's Sharon from Bond University on the Gold Coast in Australia. My PowerPoint is coming through now. I'm the Associate Director International, and we also have two of my colleagues, Sushant Sareen and Gitanjali Sharma, who are based in India, and they're here on the webinar this afternoon as well. So Bond University, if we could just go on to the first slide, is Australia's first fully private not-for-profit university. We were founded in 1989, so we're just over 30 years old. And when we began, we only had 322 students. And today we've grown to 4,500 students, but we're still a relatively small university by comparison with the other universities that you'll hear from today. 50, 60,000 is not unknown amongst Australian universities. So we're about 10 times smaller than some of the other universities. And another characteristic of Bond is that we're very international. So about 45% of our students come from all around the world. And amongst that, our international students, probably we have the most international students from the US, Canada, countries that other universities may not have such a high proportion from. And from India, we have around 10 to 15% of our international students coming from India. So just on the next slide, you'll see a picture of our campus in the foreground, and in the background is the centre of the Gold Coast. So it is the 6th biggest city in Australia. It has a population of 600,000 people, and it's one of the fastest growing cities. So a lot of job opportunities, and as part of Bond, we are dedicated to helping our students with their employment journey. So I might move on to the next slide, which I've just briefly got some of our study areas. We don't teach every study area. We try to pick up things that we can do in some kind of a unique way as Bond. So these are the study areas and faculties that we have. We do teach in very small class sizes. So on average, a lecture may be about 30 students, and a tutorial might be between 10 and 15 students. So the lowest student to staff ratio in Australia. And on the next slide, I've just put some of our sort of key takeaways. We've been known in Australia as being the #1 for student experience for the last 14 years. And in the last 2 employer satisfaction surveys that were done in Australia, we were also rated as the #1 university for the quality of graduates that are getting employed. So that sort of shows you the focus we have on employability and also the student experience and personalising and tailoring that through our small class sizes. So on the next slide, I've just got some information about one of our employability programs, which is called our core curriculum. If you're interested in studying a bachelor's degree at Bond University, all students will pick up 3 subjects, which I've got here on the screen: critical thinking and communication, leadership and team dynamics, and ethical thought and action. And these are subjects that our industry partners have told us that are essential for students joining a job in any industry. So all students from all faculties get together. It's a way that our students get to interact with people from all different backgrounds and all different skills and work together in team projects. We also have something called Beyond Bond, and this is a program that is kind of tailored to you. So because we have a lot less students, but we have quite a large career development centre, each individual student can have this program tailored to them. So there's over 220 activities that students can choose from. Some are internships, some are work-related activities, volunteering, career exploration, attending networking events. The list is endless, and students work with our Career Development Centre one-on-one to tailor this to what they want to do in the future, and our staff there will help them to achieve those goals by the time they graduate by doing these activities throughout their bachelor's degree at Bond. For our master's degree students, on the next slide, we have some quite unique programs where we have professional in the title. And those programs are where the final 20 weeks of the program allow students to do practical either industry placements, they can be part of seminar and workshop series here on campus, or they can undertake a research project. And that would depend on what their career outcomes are and what they'd like to do after they finish their masters. So that's an extra final 20-week semester at the end of our standard master's programs. So it is a little bit longer, but because it's at the final end of your master's, it does set you up quite well if you're thinking to stay in Australia after your studies and apply for a post-study work visa. And these final professional semesters allow you to have 210 hours of contact time. Usually students do choose the industry placements from India, and they'll also be supervised by one of our academic staff. If we could move on to the next slide. I'll just summarise some of the other initiatives that we have here at Bond University. Our Transformer program is great if you're interested in starting your own business or just would like to develop yourself further. They do lunchtime workshops on Wednesdays. At the moment, these are virtual seminars due to COVID-19, but basically things like budgeting, the legal requirements for starting a business, how to present, or different kind of skills that you would need if you're interested in starting your own business. Plus they also facilitate student groups to work on different business ideas. The Employability Lab is where our industry partners give us a case study, and then we give this to students in groups, and then they work on these case studies on campus as part of their studies. Most of our degree programs have industry placement subjects that students can choose either as core subjects or as elective subjects. And our Career Development Centre will help those students to source a placement, and they will have to do an interview process. So it will just be like a real job, giving you real practice of what it would be like after graduation. And the last thing is at Bond, we give career support for life. So if you're an alumni of Bond University, you can come back to our Career Centre at any time to seek support with your career, new job changes, any kind of life decisions that you need support with. Our team is here for you. And then just my final slide, I've got some information about the impact of some of our career support activities. You can see there that the team is very busy interacting one-on-one with students across the university. Basically every student studying at Bond will have at least one session with our team. Some students will have multiple sessions, and they're always willing to talk to students. We have a lot of employer events on campus. We do a lot of placements of students, and sometimes these placements will turn into a graduate job after students have completed their degree at Bond. And lastly, our Employability Lab. So that project's only been going for 2 years. So this is the first year of statistics in 2019, and we already have another 6 Employability Lab projects going on this year on all different topics to help our industry partners solve different problems that they're facing in the workplace. So just the final slide has an email address for us, international@bond.edu.au, if you have any questions at all, or there's our team in India who you're welcome to contact as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sharon, for that very quick overview. Now may I request Mr. Shehan Tampapillai, Deputy Director International from Central Queensland University. Over to you, Shehan.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Remya, and good morning, everyone. And it's a pleasure to be here. As Remya mentioned, my name is Shehan, and I work at Central Queensland University, or as we call it, CQU. Very quickly, I just wanted to touch on just one aspect of our employability program. Sharon's given us, I think, a great overview of how wide and varied the programs are at Queensland universities, but I just wanted to focus on one. And the reason why we have such a focus on employability is really because of this information here. And that was in a recent study, the annual family income for an international student studying in Australia was $45,000 per year. And that just really struck the university as the responsibility that we have in regards to how large an investment international students and their families are making. So if I think about the average Australian university tuition fee in 2020, that was around $34,500. So as you can see, we as an Australian university, we felt that we had a real duty that we were able to give students a strong return on investment. And employability, what we have seen, is becoming a key decision-making factor for students, especially after the post-study work rights, that students want not only to graduate from an Australian university, but have the best opportunity to gain employment and meaningful employment in Australia. So at CQU, I would say that our focus has been strongly on giving a student a return on investment. Tristan, can I just check that that has gone on to the next slide?
Yep, that's all good.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much. And so at CQU, what we have decided is that it really starts with practical experience. And the one area that I want to talk about today is our internship program. And our internship program is relatively unique in a number of factors, which I'll just very quickly go in today. The first is that the internship program is available in 10 of our most popular courses at CQU. And it's the old, I guess, 80-20 rule, that 80% of our students go into about 10 courses that we offer at the university. And those 10 courses, we have an internship as part of their course as an option for students to undertake. We don't want to make it compulsory, but it's an optional extra. The internship lasts for 10 to 12 weeks and runs from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock every day. So it is like a full-time job, so that it gives students a meaningful amount of practical experience here in Australia. The other area is that the internship is credit bearing. And what we mean by that is that it isn't something that a student does as an extracurricular activity, but it counts as a unit of study that a student undertakes at the university. And the advantage for a student in doing that is that there is no extension of the study duration that the student studies with us. So a student can still finish their master's course in 2 calendar years, their bachelor degree in 3 calendar years, but whilst they're studying, undertake an internship, which really sets them up very well for life after graduation. As a university, we have always championed having accessible access to education, and that has also flowed onto our internship course. We do not want our internship course to be only available for students with a particular GPA or only available for students who have an academic background in a particular area. We want the internship program to be available to all students. Therefore, there is no additional cost that the internship bears on a student, and there is no GPA hurdle, because we have not seen a correlation between academic GPA and how well a student does in an internship. So we want to make this provision available for every student. And finally, the internship is found for the student. So we have now placed over the last 3 years, approximately 1,000 students in internships, and all of those internships have been found by our university and our internship partners for the students. So students do not need to try to cold call a company to find an internship, which makes finding an internship so much more difficult. So at CQU, with these 6 elements of our internship, we've tried to provide students with the greatest access to practical experience, which we hope will increase their employability. And going back to what I had initially mentioned about a return on investment, I just wanted to share with you some of this information, which really tells us that we are heading in the right direction with the internship program. And this data is from the Compare Ed information for 2020, which used to be formerly called the QUILT, which you might be familiar with. And here is in this table a very quick indication of what the national average is for undergraduate full-time employment rates, undergraduate median salaries, and also for postgraduate studies as well. And something that we are really proud of at the university is that we have been able to provide students not only with a fantastic learning experience, but more importantly, we've been able to hold up our end of the bargain in making students employable and giving them opportunities for excellent employment after they graduate, which we understand is one of the main reasons students choose to come and study at CQU, study in Queensland, and also choose Australia as a study destination. So I'll wrap up there because I know we've got a number of panelists who want to tell you a little bit about their university and their employment opportunities. But I'd just like to say thank you very much. And our website is listed there as well. So please feel free to visit our website to find out a little bit more about our courses and our other employment opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shehan. Now, may I request Alexandra Murray, who's the Executive Director, Federation University Brisbane campus, to please talk about Federation University's initiatives on employability. Over
Thanks,
to you.
Ramya. Thank you. I'll just see if I can share my screen. Sorry, it just disappeared. All right. Hi, everyone. Isn't this exciting, having everyone together on one screen? I love it. I'm just going to press my little stopwatch as I go, because anyone that's met me knows I can talk about this forever. So I'll keep myself on track. So yeah, I'm Alex. I'm the head of campus of Fed Uni's Brisbane campus. Look, Federation is celebrating its 150th year this year, which is really exciting. And the Brisbane campus is the newest campus in our network. And we are in the central business district of Brisbane on Ann Street. So we're very much a city-based campus, and that is deliberate so that we can integrate really fully with industry and our business partners to give students exactly what we're talking about today, that employability opportunity. I'm starting with a photo of what our students look like just before they graduate. Isn't it gorgeous? They are prepared and confident. So it's one of my favourite snaps. I'll just see if I can go forward. Here we go. So look, Federation's brand ranked as the #3 at the moment in Australia for employability skills by what we call the Employment Satisfaction Survey, ESS. And a large part of that is the way that we build employability throughout the student's journey. So this is a couple of students of ours who are at one of our industry partners. It's a startup organisation called River City Labs, who we integrate very much with in our programs. And as a university, we take students from arrival through our careers service in trying to help students get part-time work, because we realise upon landing that that often is the beginning of their soft skills and their careers journey that they're doing while they are studying with us. The careers service maintains contact with our students right from arrival. We build networks with students. We really believe to try to get them the employability skills that we're talking about. An understanding of what networking is and how to do it is very important if they're going to access all of these amazing things that Queensland has to offer with its booming employability. We engage in industry experiences. All of our courses have some form of industry integration attached to them. And the thing that I love the most is our capstone projects, where in some of our courses, students have an entire semester at the end of their course where they are working on an industry problem, a real live industry problem. They then transition into employment and we assist them in that journey as well through the careers office, and then become alumni. And we work with our alumni very closely when they are in jobs and in industry, so that we can bring them back in to talk to students about, you know, what they need to be prepared for and how to mentor them through that process. So we've all talked a lot about why we're developing these skills. Essentially, we know as a university that we have to build the right kind of skills into our courses. And the research tells us that what we need to build for students are enterprise skills. These have been called many things over the years, and they continue to be critical. So this is really the driver behind why this is such an important thing to build into the courses: creativity, critical thinking, digital literacy, which has become so important to all of us, particularly during COVID. And this is the way we do it. So on the Brisbane campus, all of our information technology programs have a professional experience unit which runs throughout the course, throughout each semester. We embed innovation and digital literacy throughout a range of opportunities on and off campus. Some of those are listed here. The one that I would like to focus on is our Masters, our IT Masters capstone project, where students work in teams with industry partners. So what this means is the industry partners, in particular, in this case is River City Labs, which is a startup incubator. All of the founders, CEOs in those companies, they come up with a challenge that they're currently facing in order to move their company forward. The students split into groups, they work on that, and they have to solve that problem over a semester and pitch that back to the company. It has resulted in students who have done really well who are now working with those startups and companies, and we have a range of other opportunities that students can also undertake as part of that degree. I've put a slide in here that will be shared, I think, through Study Queensland after, which has a couple of videos which take you through in detail some of those employability programs that we have with students. We have outreach also to develop the skills, entrepreneurship skills and digital literacy and communication skills that we want through a range of different programs at the university, particularly through mentoring, tutoring, volunteering. And also, we have the careers and employability area, which helps with all the really granular detail, job interview practice, resume updates, CV, online webinars about employability and building those skills, as well as the students being embedded into industry opportunities. So this is how to contact us. You can contact us directly through the university, or you can contact me if it's about Brisbane in particular on the head of campus email. And I would just end again with our happy smiling students to let you know that this group of graduates now, some of them are undertaking the professional year program, some of them are now working for the companies that they did their final capstone project on, but we take them from nervous, unsure of how to network to this product at the end. And I think that's what I want for my kids. So thank you very much for the time to share this with you. I hope their smiling faces leave you bright and chirpy on Monday morning. Thanks, Remya.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. Now, let me ask Mr. Troy Dobinson, Senior Manager, Careers and Employment Services, Griffith University, to please start with your presentation. Thank you.
So good morning, everybody. My name is Troy Dobinson, the Manager of the Careers and Employment Service at Griffith University. We are a university based in Brisbane and the Gold Coast. We have 50,000 students and 5 campuses. Our 2 largest ones being Nathan campus, which is just south of Brisbane CBD, and of course on the Gold Coast. We also have other locations at South Bank within the city, Mount Gravatt, Logan as well. So what do we do in a careers and employment space? So certainly we do a lot of work within the learning and teaching environment. So my career development consultants, we have embedded careers education in a large number of programs. We reach about 27,000 students a year through embedding compulsory accessible career development and employability skills training within degrees. That enables all students going in that particular program access to that information simply by turning up. We also do a lot of work online. We've got online support, resources, appointments, a mentoring program, and I'll touch on some of these in a moment as well. But these are probably the most value add that we have, industry on campus and our premium recruitment service. We do have an employability framework that my team wrote and implemented at Griffith University in 2016 to really look at a transition in, through, out and up process. More that we do this with the academic staff to enable well thought out career development learning with industry connections embedded into programs. We do pride ourselves on being able to be available for students. So we certainly have free appointments for students, initially 20 minutes or for 1 hour if the student's needs. We can go through all of these things and more. We've got qualified career counsellors who can assist and do a deep dive and unpack these areas in more detail if we need to help students prepare, search and be the best that they can be in that particular time at university. One big value add that we can provide at Griffith University is our premium recruitment service. So whilst we have a lot of employability and career education initiatives in our curriculum, what we've actually done is gone one step further. So we've actually bought a recruitment franchise at Griffith University. We've employed 3 recruitment consultants, and over the last 4 years, we have placed 4,500 students, and those students have earned over $12.5 million in wages. So this is really where the rubber meets the road. This is really about working with students, building upon their employability, but actually placing them into employment. So all of this is paid job, either part-time, casual, fixed term or graduate work at the end of the team, at the end of the graduation. So my team can support students with internships or finding work experience, but the bulk of what we want to do is to provide paid employment for our students who come to study with us. We do have also an industry mentoring program. It's been running for over 26 years now, one of Australia's longest running mentoring programs. It's a great way for students to engage with industry professionals in their field and allows 6 interactions or meetings, either through webinars or in person, and we're able to come back and live a little bit more normal that way. It's a fantastic way for international students to meet professionals in Brisbane, in Gold Coast or globally, as a way to really link and explore those career pathways moving forward. My team also do a lot of work with our industry partners. So we, in the last couple of months, would bang out anywhere between 80 to 100 webinars per month with industry insight series, career development series. We've had these sort of employees and more on campus, but for the last few months, we'll be doing a lot of this via Zoom, via Teams and webinars, which is fantastic. So a lot of industry engagement happens across all our campuses at Griffith University. Like most institutions, we have a lot of extracurricular activities. There is hundreds of opportunities for students to engage in Griffith branded and endorsed programs. I've got a link there on the website. There's no shortage of opportunities there for students to go to and to engage. And as a career counsellor by training, I do recommend students spend a bit of time thinking about the big picture, not just the what am I enrolled in this trimester, but where is this taking me and what other things could I be adding onto my degree throughout my journey, so that when you graduate, you have a lot of activities in your resume, makes you more employable, and can make that transition a lot smoother moving forward that way. We also have a Working Together Learning community internship course. It's not run through my team, it's done through our Learning Futures area. They have about 450 internships available every trimester, undergrad, postgrad, all disciplines, and there's no GPA limit for that. So if students are struggling, they can get an interview and work through the requirements that way, but it's a great way to also build your strengths and your experiences that way. So that's a very short and sweet presentation from myself. I'm sure there's a lot of other panelists who are very keen to share their presentations with you and talk about some of the great work that they're doing. So what I might do now is stop sharing my screen if I can. And yeah, welcome, enjoy your day. I'll hand it back to you, Emma. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Troy. Now let me ask Bernie Cooper, who is the Strategic Lead Career Development and Engagement at the Queensland University of Technology, to go ahead with her presentation. Over to you, Bernie.
Thank you, Remna. Good morning, everyone. So as Remya said, my name is Bernie Cooper. I'm the Strategic Lead for Career Development and Employability at QUT. I really loved Megan's talk at the beginning where she talked about employability, and we developed our vision in partnership with students for how we develop employability at QUT, and it is to empower students with the tools, connections and mindsets that they need in order to design and build their lives and their communities in a real world sense. And as Gitesh said this morning as well, that we have just been ranked first of the young universities in Australia, which we're very proud about. Like most of the universities here, we have a really broad range of strategies and ways that we help develop students' employability at QUT. I'm going to go through 4 chunks and I might concentrate on just a few of them. We don't really have time to talk about all of them, but they are, I've probably detailed most of them here. So one of the first ways that we assist students to empower them is to connect them and provide opportunities for them to connect with industry. We do that through a number of ways. One of them is our career mentoring scheme. Troy, I was interested to hear that yours is 26 years old, because I think ours is this year as well. So that's really interesting. We are currently also in the process of renewing our career mentoring program. We'll be offering a couple of different programs next year, and we're launching it on a brand new digital platform, which is very exciting, which will enable mentoring relationships to happen globally. We're not going to be quite as constrained as we have been. And we're also going to be able to reach more students and more mentors, which we're very excited about. We also, other things we do is advertise jobs, and we present industry coming onto campus and presenting, and careers fairs. One of the things we tried a bit differently this year, and we're going to continue because it's been such a success, is an Industry Connect conference. In the science and engineering faculty, because we couldn't have a face-to-face careers fair this year, we decided to try it a bit differently. And we connected, let me get the data here. We had about 500 students in the science and engineering faculty connect to 70 industry stakeholders across 2 days. And there were 3,200 individual session bookings. It was exceptionally successful because it supported students in networking and developing the connections with industry, which provides long-term payout in terms of employability. And we also provided opportunities for them to apply their skills and strategies in a real-world active learning manner. We got fantastic feedback from industry and from our students, as well as the faculty. The other group or strategy that we do is we develop students' employability and curriculum. And this means that all students get access to employability. It isn't just the students that take that extra step to look for opportunities. So we also have a framework, and we embed the development of these skills through courses. And we also offer work integrated learning. So our work integrated learning, we define that at QUT as requiring direct industry engagement. So all our WIL experiences have a real industry partner for students, and students undertake real work through a combination of work placements and industry projects. We engage every year with about 14,000 partners to deliver about 40,000 work integrated learning experiences for students. And I believe this is about double the sector average according to Universities Australia. At the moment, 89% of undergraduates will engage in a WIL experience before graduation. Our target is to reach 100% by 2023. And wow, 5 minutes goes quickly. The other strategy that we follow is to connect students with other students to continue with that sense of connection and belonging, and expert educators. And we do this through a range of things. We have drop-in career chats and workshops all around all the things you need to know to develop your employability skills, both in faculty and centrally. We also have one-to-one appointments, and we have success coaches who will help students develop their goals and connect them with support around the university. We have a very popular leadership and development program and an annual QUT Student Leadership Conference. We also realize that not every student has the time to go and seek out these opportunities. So we have a lot of online self-directed learning, a brand new set of online modules. We also have the ability for students to submit their resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn profiles for feedback online. And of course, we subscribe to Going Global, which offers students opportunities to find jobs locally and abroad, and also to do some research around their country. That's very quick. Just to end off, I thought I'd end with a little bit of the story. So this Ranald Grant received an award for 20-year mentor in the QUT mentor scheme. And Gautami Shetty from India, who was a Masters of Project Management student, was talking about how much that mentoring experience meant to her around getting her connections and learning things that she wouldn't get from uni, and about applying that learning and also making friends and connections. And also the Industry Connect conference, where we've got comments there from both the student and from industry about the usefulness and importance of it. So thank you very much for listening to that very, very quick presentation, and I'm sure Remya will provide our contact details at the end as well.
Thank you so much, Bernie. Now may I request Mr. Ashil Ranpara, who is the employability specialist at the University of Queensland. Over to you, Ash.
Thank you, Remy, and thank you to all the presenters as well. So my name is Ashil Ranpara, and I am an employability specialist at the University of Queensland in business, economics, and law. Quickly, of course, UQ is a top 50 university in the world. It is consistently ranked higher. And what I wanted to showcase was that what this allows us to do in the employability space. We're, of course, in the group of 8 universities as well. We also won a lot of awards for employability in specifically as well. You know, these are awards that UQ and faculties of UQ have won just in the employability space in the last few years, as you can see. The certain awards for university teaching, we have consistently won in the last few years as well. What I wanted to highlight was these awards and rankings allow us to essentially put money where our mouth is, and go to industry, to go to clients, and go to you know, employers, and really highlight that where we come from, and we come from an expertise as well, backed by expertise as well. Okay, so these are some programs we do at UQ. These are programs that are available to every student regardless of their background. That of course includes all international students as well. What I want to highlight is that the importance of extracurricular programs. I know Troy Dobinson talked about it a little bit as well, and we certainly put a lot of highlight on extracurricular programs. The work integrated learning programs. I was an international student once, and something I know of is that work integrated learning, of course, is a course. As an international student, a lot of students pay these fees, and they do a course, work integrated learning course, which is essentially them being placed in, very likely, in an unpaid placement. So what we have done is we have pipelined a lot of extracurricular activities, and specifically this bit here, Employee Award. We award this to students who go on and do 5 extracurricular activities outside of what's required or mandated by their course. Of course, like most other universities, we do mentoring programs, volunteering programs to meet the employer. We consistently bring top employers on campus, and they can talk about, you know, we give one-on-one with students instead of doing the big seminars. We go, here's an employer, you have 30 minutes, you can book a session with the employer, ask them anything directly. We do global experiences as well, of course. Briefly, in numbers, we have over 51,000 students at UQ. You know, these are some numbers here. There's a couple of interesting ones is we have 600 registered mentors across a lot of mentoring programs. But this one here, 7,000 students attend our employee events and activations. We have one of the biggest careers fair as well in Queensland and in Australia. And also we always want to highlight the importance of just, you know, meeting an employer directly. We provide a lot of funding directly to students as well. Over 8 million in funding to students. This includes funding to go to take global experience opportunities, to take internships, rural placements as well. You know, rural placements are quite important for Indian students because of the change in visas as well. They give an extended visa when you go to rural Queensland. But what I really want to highlight is an example of what an international student's kind of journey looks like. So here's an example of an international student who recently graduated, or just graduated this month. She was a Dean's Commendation, but what we really pushed her to do was find as many extracurricular activities as she can. She did the summer internship. She also co-founded her own food and beverage business. She was offered a role at Ernst & Young, but she was at the same time offered a role at the Macquarie Group. Macquarie Group is a big banking group in Australia. She was offered a summer internship at Deloitte as well. And we always talk about students having that choice at UQ, that yes, we will kind of push you to have that choice. If you're offered 2 roles, 3 roles, what can you do as an international student to make sure that you're accepting the role you want? We also, I work in BELSET. BELSET Engagements Business Economics and Law Student Employability team. We have one of the highest number of students taking the Brisbane City Council Tertiary Experience Program as well. What I want to finally leave with is we talk about communication and taking ownership for international students as well. You know, something I consistently hear employers, students, and universities talk about is even after the students graduate, they say, do you have jobs for international students? Well, we want to tell them that first of all, as soon as you graduate, you're not an international student anymore. You finish, you cease being an international student. As soon as you graduate, you are a graduate looking for employment. So these are a few programs we offer, and we would be very happy to talk to anyone who would like to come to UQ, of course. And yeah, I think my 5 minutes are done. So back to you, Rahimya.
Thank you, Ash, so much. Now, may I request Ms. Gie Hatney, who's a Director, International and Partnership at the University of Southern Queensland. Over to you, Gie.
Thank you very much, Ramya. I appreciate it. Good morning to all our wonderful friends, potential students in India. It's a great pleasure to be part of this session. My name is Gie Hatney, and I'm the Director of International Relations and Global Partnerships at USQ. Now, I think we discussed in the beginning, Australia as a study destination, and it is a wonderful study destination. And Queensland, I think the state of Queensland in particular, does offer something a little bit extra, a little bit different. We have a very, very close partnership with our state government and with our industry partners. And you also get the addition of having, world-class universities, diverse universities, many of them have already presented today, but we also have this wonderful, unique environment, and you're able to live and study within it, which I think is just absolutely wonderful. But moving on to the slides for today. A little bit about our university. We're also one of the smaller universities in Queensland, like some of the colleagues as well. We are not based in the capital, Queensland. However, we have 3 campuses just outside of Brisbane. The main campus being in Toowoomba, which is one of our largest regional cities, and that is about an hour and a half from Brisbane City. We have a campus in Springfield, which is about 30 minutes from Brisbane City with a train station, so it's very accessible. And we also have a campus in the city of Ipswich, which was actually Queensland's first capital before Brisbane. We have 2 main faculties at USQ, and these are divided into very specific schools that you can see on the screen. It's business, education, law, arts, health, engineering, and sciences. So it is quite comprehensive. But in terms of the student size, it's very interesting. You will see there that we've got just over 25,000 students. However, of these, only 6,900 are on-campus students, which really shows you that a lot of what we do is also online. So USQ is one of the first universities in the country to offer distance and online education. And we continue to do so with students all over the world. So a lot of our students are studying, in India online, for example. Many are studying in Sydney and in Melbourne. So we cater to a real global audience. Of the students that we do have on campus, just over 2,000 are international students. So it is, also a very diverse, multicultural field, but at a much smaller scale. Also, we've all been, sharing wonderful reviews and wonderful rankings that all of us are able to enjoy. And I think it really confirms the quality of education that Queensland universities can offer. In the very latest Good Universities Guide results, we're very proud that we achieved #1 as the #1 university in Queensland for student support. Last year, we also were nominated #1 in Australia for graduate starting salaries. This year, #1 in Australia for engineering graduates in full-time employment. And overall, last year rated 5 stars for internationalization and employability. So I think all of this really does point towards, you know, a university focus that's really practical, that really wants to engage industry throughout the curriculum design, and certainly helping to equip students once they graduate for the workforce. So in order for us to achieve this, we have a dedicated department at the university that focuses solely on career development. And here we have all kinds of activities, but essentially the department focuses on free career counseling and coaching services for all students. We look at work integrated learning, allowing students to tell us about some of their best interests, internships that they're wishing to pursue, as well as industry projects. Now, a lot of our programs do have embedded work integrated learning within, but for those students who may be doing a program where there is not an integrated internship, then the Careers and Development Office will be able to assist you in finding one. We also hold a lot of wonderful career development workshops to equip you with the right skills, from your CV to interview tips and so on. And we have an online career fair that we have been actually doing since 2014. And here you're able to meet right now online, obviously, not face-to-face, but you're able to meet and chat with potential employers, have a look at graduate opportunities for, you know, once you graduate, but also whilst you're studying, you're able to find vacation work and the like. We also have a series of sessions that allow you to have a very informal conversation with potential employers, and we call these our virtual coffee catch-ups. So we will have USQ staff, we will invite companies, CEOs to come and talk to students. Everyone brings their coffee and we have an informal chat across the screen. And we do a lot of Q&A where you're able to then ask questions about the industry, about job prospects, any trends, anything that you have doubts about, those CEOs will be able to address. So it's very interesting and it's been very successful. We're also part of the Queensland Government's or Study Queensland's Launch U program, and we've got just over 20 students who have joined that recently, which is quite exciting. Now, innovation is so important. We have a large group that focuses on innovation and entrepreneurship, trying to support all those students that bring unique and original ideas. And in order to support these ideas, we hold regular digital innovation challenges. Okay, so this also allows you to network with employers. We look at finding solutions to authentic problems. So you are working with other students to solve a real problem. We're also looking at developing mentors, so students are able to connect with mentors. And we're focusing also on helping students with design thinking methodologies so that you are able to use them once you start looking for formal employment. Also on the screen, you will see, and I added this because it's news that was only released yesterday. We recently entered into a new partnership with Australia's national airline Qantas, where our aviation and aviation management students will be able to train with them. USQ hosts Queensland's flight or aviation education precinct, and we have 2 simulators at the university, one for the Boeing 737-800, and as of only a couple of days ago, also the Airbus A320, and is the only aviation hub that offers the 2 options, which we're very, very excited about. And like other colleagues have also mentioned, there's more beyond just the classroom. There's more just beyond looking at the internships. We also have global mobility programs. So as part of your USQ degree, you are also able to undertake a short program or a semester program or even an internship at one of our global partner universities. And you know, when you decide to go somewhere different, you know, it is so important to take advantage of all these new opportunities, new programs, looking at all the extracurricular clubs and societies that you can join as well, because each and every one of those experiences will contribute to your own development to be the best person that you can be. So the more different those experiences, the better. So I encourage you, wherever you choose to go, wherever your journey takes you, to really try and take the most advantage of everything your university can offer you. The choice is really quite amazing. I wish you all the very best. And for some of you who might choose USQ, I look forward to engaging with you at any of our 3 campuses or even online. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gie. Now may I request our final speaker, Esther Kiss, lead work program specialist from James Cook University. Over to you, Esther.
Thank you very much, Ramya. Good morning, lovely attendees, and good afternoon to my esteemed colleagues in Australia. So, very warm welcome from the University of Tropics. We've got campus in Townsville, Cairns, up in North Queensland, as well as an overseas campus in Singapore. And we do have our little cozy campus in the middle of Brisbane. As you can see, the little snapshot on the screen of the city. Now let's see how we lead our students to work. The Leading to Work program started in 2015 on our Brisbane campus with the special needs that the employers forwarded to us, that students need to be more employable. As you all know, and please don't feel bad that you are not native speakers. I'm not one either. We understand how difficult it is to practice your communication skills and work well, and also build up your professional identity, and also live in a foreign country. And it's totally normal, you know, it's part of the picture. So we understand the need, what employers are looking for, and we also understand the state of being and mindset of our international students, and we would love to offer our best to have them equipped with the skills that the employers need. Also, we asked our students how they want to be supported in this journey. So we asked the questions of what they would love to develop. So we are working very closely with employers as well as our student body. And we are embedding all these really good tips from both parties into our classes, everyday classes, as well as extracurricular workshops and activities. We also offer mentorship, industrial partners mentorship, as well as students mentorship. So whatever you feel comfortable with, you can apply for these different mentorship programs on and off campus as well as online. So this little urban campus is very cozy and located close to our employers, who are happy to come to our campus and work together with our students in the quality of some kind of project experience, research experience, as well as just having a little meeting or a spiel or an informal conversation with our students, which students really appreciate. You know, it's always good to get to know the person behind the profession and the title. And you can easily do that in our roundtable discussions that we organize. We also like to work with employers on very big projects that they would love to get special insight in, because, you know, they really appreciate that you are coming from another country, you are bringing something different with you, you've got a different mindset, a different way of thinking, and that can refresh their portfolio. So they are looking forward to meeting with you and working with you closely. So please don't be afraid of showing who you are. Don't be afraid of asking your questions. It's absolutely okay. And it's, in fact, it's encouraged to do so. So we are trying to focus on the skills that the employers need, obviously. But we are also trying to focus on the whole being. So when it comes to emotional readiness for taking on work, employment, being the manager of your own life, we are there for you. Now, who is this we? We've got our Job Links program, career advisors who are going to be holding your hands and taking on a very individualized or self-tailored approach. They are going to be sitting down with you, preparing for interviews, writing resumes and selection criteria, putting together a beautiful online portfolio where you put all your achievements together. And also, they are going to be working with you in business incubator or business club kind of qualities, where you are going to be bringing in your ideas and we help you establish something amazing, the work of your life, if you like. How good that is that while you are studying, you can actually build up your own business, and you are going to get help from all the professionals around you, whether they are academics, members of the faculty, or they are industry professionals of your desired industry. So you've got all these very, very closely knit relationships on campus and off campus. And we do offer a whole suite of online career building opportunities as well, because we understand the needs and how they changed after COVID-19 and what happened around the world. So we are trying to prepare you for life with a very individualized approach, and I'm looking forward to having you on campus and working closely with you on behalf of my colleagues as lecturers, and also on behalf of our careers team. If you'd like to get in contact with me, you can find my email address at the bottom of this slide. I'm really looking forward to meeting you on campus and working closely with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Esther. That was wonderful. I think it was a wonderful session listening to all of you speakers, and I think it's for the first time that we have done something like this, and I'm sure the participants would have really understood our tagline of Study Queensland, Start Here, Go Anywhere. And I'm sure, and I'm really thankful to all the universities who have supported us in making this webinar very successful. I would like to mention AIRI President, Mr. Ravi Lochan Singh, who has been very kind to spread the message across to all the participants and making this webinar. Thanks to you, and I look forward to doing similar sessions where we can bring the Team Queensland together and you know, show how international students are so important for us. Thanks again to all of you, and have a good day.